I have no idea what Nintendo is huffing with these new pricings, but it is ridiculous. I just want to say the Switch 2 itself being $450 to $500 depending on your bundle, I'm not mad at that. It's a little high for a Nintendo console because in my mind, normally they've been behind current generation when it comes to its power. And, you get it to play Nintendo games. It's a Nintendo game machine, And I was fine with that. But they're making a lot of changes to Switch 2 to make it more powerful, and I do respect that. I'm not mad about the price of the Switch 2 itself. I'm mad about the games being $80 for a digital, $90 physical for some of them. Does it blow me or something? I'm already not buying games at $70. I don't think I've bought a new game at AAA pricing since they switched to $70. The closest thing I do is I have in the past pre-ordered Destiny 2 expansions, but at the same time, this channel that I'm posting this video on, for a long time, was pretty much exclusively Destiny 2 content. So it just made sense to do that for me, and not for most people. And I just want to reiterate about this price. I've my whole life been used to Nintendo games usually being cheaper than competitors on Sony or Microsoft hardware. So seeing this massive price increase is jarring for it being Nintendo. And Nintendo games are usually really good quality. It's just, it's not what I'm used to, and I don't like that, So I'm probably not getting a Switch 2. I'm not going to buy games that are Switch 2 exclusives unless, they come down in price and maybe they put Ultimate Alliance 3 on there and then they make an Ultimate Alliance 4 and they put the original 2 on Switch 2. Maybe I'd buy it then. But, aside from that, it just isn't for me, obviously. And when we talk about the physical copies being $90, we have to keep in mind the day they revealed the Switch 2 and the prices was also hours before, at least if you're an American like me, the tariff amounts were introduced. So wherever these cartridges were made, which I'm betting for North American copies, likely Mexico. I think that's where discs were produced. I don't know where Nintendo does Switch cartridges. Give me a second. I will look that up. All right. Looked it up. Sometimes they will package things in the US, Mexico, or Canada, but they are not even made in North America often. They're often produced in Vietnam, which is like a 46% tariff. And apparently they did already ship a lot of Nintendo Switch 2s. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the games, and including games that haven't been made yet. So if you think $90 is bad, it could get worse. At least here in the States. So, since we are in the age of you can't own your games, that's not allowed, and Nintendo charging $80 to $90 for a game, my recommendation is you get a Steam Deck if you want a portable piece of gaming hardware that you can go from portable to putting on a TV or a monitor, because Steam Deck can do that. The lowest price you can go is $399, but you can pay $50 or I guess $100 more than a Switch 2 to get a way better version, or you could ball out and spend like $650 on it, man. It doesn't matter. This is your money. Just don't do it either way, I guess. It's up to you. But the Steam Deck, it runs PC games very well, and it uses the Steam Store. Steam Store notable for having multiple sales a year, at least 4 seasonal sales, and then publishers will have their own sales, and things just randomly go on sale all the time on Steam, and games on Steam are usually cheaper than $80 to $90. There are some limitations. Some games on Steam can't run on the Steam Deck. It is what it is. Like Destiny 2 specifically can't. That might have changed, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But yeah, I guess don't get a Switch 2, get a Steam Deck is the moral of this video. But you know what doesn't cost hundreds of dollars? AdvancedGG, baby. My good friends over at AdvancedGG, they pay me money to tell you to buy their product. Check out my link down below for it and use code Spycer10 for 10% off. And I get paid for that. I really like the guava berry flavor. I've been using it for years. Anyways, if Nintendo is bold enough to go from being the most accessible gaming company to charging $80 to $90 on games on an already $400 to $500 console, then just think about what Activision's about to do. I mean, they're owned by Microsoft, but like they're already using AI generated assets in their games and charging $70 for it, and then charging you for the AI generated microtransactions. And then, you know, you have Rockstar, which is gearing up for GTA 6, which could be one of the biggest games of all time. Will they charge 60? Will they charge 70? They might charge 100. And it's just, we're on this terrible path of gaming becoming inaccessible. Sony somehow has become the most respectable one of the bunch, releasing Helldivers 2 for $40. It's a great game, especially at that price point. And then they had Astrobot, another game, cheaper than, you know, the current $70 price tag. Great, fun game, meant to be fun, not grindy or anything. And that's where I think gaming is headed. I think AAA devs are going to make themselves unsustainable and unwanted by relying too much on generative AI to create things people don't like aesthetically, and, you know, making it to where their employees don't want to be there, no one wants to work for them, and then charging people for stolen assets. Like, exorbitant amounts of money for stolen assets, essentially. Whereas AA and single A games, you know, are more indie style things and are smaller titles, we're going to see a lot more of the passion there, a lot more of the innovation, like we have with Helldivers 2. Like, I mean, this is a terrible example, but Marvel Rivals is killing it. I love Marvel Rivals. It has consumed my life at this point, and I love it. But I didn't have to spend $70 on it. Anyways, that's probably about it for this video. I was just venting a bit about how terribly expensive the Nintendo Switch 2 is, and how it's not going to get better anytime soon. And probably, realistically speaking, it'll get worse. So, buckle in, boys. And I guess play fucking Minecraft. Play some free games. You know, have fun. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right? Anyways, see ya.